I'm Julius März. I'm a PhD student at Erasmus Medical Centre at the Child and Adolescent Psychiatry Department, and also a part of the R.I.O.T Science Club, R.I.O.T Open Science Club Rotterdam.
And my name is Laura Dias. I am also a PhD student at the Erasmus Medical Centre in the same department, Child Psychology and Psychiatry, and I'm also part of the R.I.O.T Open Science Club. So my first encounter with open education was through an open education platform promoted by the R.I.O.T. And I ended up understanding that I have used a lot of these tools, but the first time I put the name on it was throughout this course.
And for me, my first experience with open education was a little bit earlier because I had a similar course. I also had a good research practices course promoting the benefits of open science, open education in general. And then, we had this course together, promoted by the R.I.O.T, and found it really interesting, really inspiring. I think just following these courses, where you hear about all the benefits that it can have, especially also for early career researchers like us, then, it felt really good to join this movement to help spreading this way of open education, open science, making it more accessible to early career researchers and students as well. So I think that inspired me, at least.
Because my field is quite different from the one from my department, so I'm from engineering, and these tools are what actually allow me to bridge the two fields. So I became very interested in finding more about how to promote these type of initiatives and actually try to improve education and research as best as we can as PhD students. We are part of the R.I.O.T Open Science Club, as we've mentioned. It is an initiative that is not only restricted to Rotterdam, so it started in the UK, and then some colleagues of ours brought it to the Netherlands. And our main goal is to promote good research practices and good education practices and try to make science in general more open.
I also would like to promote the Student Initiative for Open Science. They have that in Amsterdam as well, specifically for bachelor and master students engaging in open science. And there are different CIOS initiatives all over the Netherlands, actually, as well. So these are also a great cause, with the CIOS particularly being organized by students, bachelor and master students, and the R.I.O.T club specifically being organized by, at the moment, PhD students. But we want to get academics of all, of different levels involved. I think a challenge, especially if you're early in your career, is that you often think that you might do something wrong. So it sounds, okay, maybe it's super difficult to properly share your research, share your educational materials that you want to set up. But when you delve more into it, it doesn't seem to be that much of a challenge. It's rather straightforward, engaging in these practices.
Yeah, I agree. I think that as an early on researcher, it can be a little intimidating sometimes to ask your supervisors or whatever that may not be sure if they're engaging in these practices, saying, I want to promote, I want to share my code, I want to make this paper open access. We actually are very lucky because our department actively promotes this, but I can see that that could be a challenge for someone in the beginning of their career.
The open science framework is always a great way to start. People publish their materials there. It's easy to find, easily accessible. There are also courses that use open educational resources.
In Coursera, there are a lot of highly ranked universities that share their lectures, so I actually look at those a lot. And also resources such as GitHub, for instance, they have pools of scripts and information that you can openly access. So. For me, open education helps me every day because I need to sometimes go beyond the expertise of the people that surround me, and to know that I can access quality work that's freely accessible makes me way more independent and also makes my work way more productive.
And if they are for example, if they're writing a systematic review, they need to do some quality assessment of the studies, and there are like some materials available where people have like, these are actual quality assessment checklists that you can use. And it's good that you can just share those checklists with them without having to contact the university that set those checklists up way back in the day and needing to get the permission to use it and then wait for 2 weeks.
Some of the benefits of working with open education resources are, as I said, it makes work way more productive and actually makes education more widespread, so everyone can easily access it. I can imagine that it can also make it easier for people that maybe would not initially have access to this level of education to be able to also learn and apply it to whatever they want.
I also imagine, I have not published that much myself yet, but if you make your resources, your materials openly accessible to everyone, it's also easy to get feedback from the whole community, which also will be helpful to improve your work overall, because you can get direct feedback from the people who are using it, which makes it easier for you to learn, improve something on that as well. I think a lot of people are worried that it's going to be a lot of work. People think, okay, this might be some additional work that could be not beneficial for me, but it can also save you. It is beneficial in the end to make your work accessible for other people as well. It's not that much of an additional work.
One misconception could be that maybe when this material is openly accessible, so if it is a video for a course or whatever, that it lacks quality, which is not true. But I can imagine that some people may make that assumption before actually engaging with it. So
it will have a positive impact on students if everyone has this access to this same ways of education. It's not dependent on paywalls or...
Open education resources allow for connections between different types of universities. So actually students are able to engage with material that they would not initially have access to and broaden their expertise. I think that's probably the future of science now, try to interconnect different types of fields. I think that our advice would be more focused on early stage people that are on early stage of their career. And I think it would be that if you are interested in it, you will probably find other people that are also interested in it. And you don't need to put that much time and effort to actually create something that already has some impact. So you can apply to your work, you can talk to your supervisor, you can talk to a friend and create something. It is possible and it makes a difference.
I think we would hope just to see that it becomes more and more implemented in education in general, in universities or even beyond universities. We hope that in the future it becomes as widely used by academic students as possible.
What we can hope for the future is that it starts to be the norm. So it's just implemented in the pipeline of learning and teaching. We're hopeful that it will be, in some years, just the way that people teach, learn, do research, etc., in an open way.
Yeah, so it becomes the norm. Like you don't have to, that open education is the way education is done.
Yeah.
That would be the